So, what are your thoughts on the NBA season thus far?
Lots of interesting things are transpiring.
Like,
You have some of the teams that you thought are not going to win anything are doing very well, like the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trailblazers. I must say, I was right about the Heat. They are struggling. Um, OKC is doing better than people expected. Indiana is doing better than people expected. And let me tell you, Tyrese Halliburton is a star. They stole that trade and they got a star, and I'm sure Sacramento regrets it.
what you just said. There's so much I want to add to add to all what you just said. You said a lot of good stuff, but what I will say about Sacramento, I'm going to start with that, right? Yeah, Sacramento, they're just like 10 times worse than the Knicks, the way they're running that organization. I just have no idea. They've just sucked for so many years, and they had stars and DeMarcus Cousins. They couldn't get that right. Then they have De'Aaron Fox, right? But I think they're putting him on a pedestal, man. I don't think he's as good as they think he is. Okay, I think now it's time to just trade him for assets, really, because he's a good point guard and he would do very well on a good team. But I don't think he's the guy. He's not the main guy that could carry that team. He's not a John Morant, if that makes sense. Okay.
I think he's having his best season.
Okay, but they still suck, don't they?
They won like 5 or 6 straight games.
So what's the record on them? Now I
I
feel
think
stupid.
they're over 500.
No way.
Yeah, but it's a. I think it's a fluke. I don't actually believe in them that they're gonna sustain it. But they have an average team. I think that. So I mentioned earlier how the Utah Jazz are playing better or playing well, and no one expected that. I think they're just playing harder than other teams that are playing them because they are expected to lose, and their goal is to get the best pick. So Danny Ainge and their coaches don't want them to win. So these guys are like, we're gonna play hard and prove you wrong, and they are.
Well, I think I disagree. I think the coach does want to win games. I
Yeah,
think it's Danny Ainge in the front office that don't want to win games.
Markkinen is playing like a star though.
But hold on. So I want to add to that. So real quick, as far as Sacramento is concerned, I feel stupid for saying what I said, but you're right. It could be a fluke. We'll see. But before this season, this is what's been going on. I still think, even though they're playing better, I still think De'Aaron Fox, he's overrated. He's a great player, great point guard. He's not the man. He's not the star. He's not a John Morant. Moving on. I will say I want to talk about one of our previous videos because on TikTok and on Instagram I've been getting a lot of criticism for it. The video was basically talking about how RJ Barrett's better than a better choice to have than Donovan Mitchell, and the main comment that I said was the Knicks were offering a much better trade package, which I didn't even want them to offer than the Cleveland Cavaliers because I said other than Colin Sexton and picks, they got nobody, and everybody's bashing me saying, "How about Lauren Marketing, Laurie Marketing,
Right.
Laurie Marketing, right?" And yeah, I know about Laurie Marketing, okay? But to me, he's a great
Oh
player.
yeah, they did. He was from the Cavs.
Right, but he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but when I first of all, I never
He
meant
never
to
he
disrespect anybody by saying they're nobody.
he didn't
But
play as
but
well in
yeah,
Cleveland as he is playing now.
right. But you see, even on the Bulls, he was really good, right? And now he's playing really good. And when I said he's a nobody, I just meant like he's nothing special for that trade. No offense. Yeah, he's a great player, but is he a star caliber player? No. He's like David Lee on the Knicks, Like he's their best player right now, okay? But
Oh
Laurie Markkinen, I'm talking about Utah Jazz.
no, their best player is Jordan Clarkson.
It seems like Laurie Markkinen's the best player, but it doesn't matter. The point is,
Regardless,
uh,
he's playing better than RJ Barrett is.
okay, but hold on a second. Who has more upside? Yes, RJ Barrett is struggling. Yes, but you know what? I am willing to gamble. I am willing to gamble on him more than I am Donovan Mitchell Because again, with Donovan Mitchell, we know what we're getting. Okay. With RJ Barrett, it's a huge question mark. The only two players I would trade RJ Barrett for now is either Luka Doncic or John Morant. Not to say that Dallas and Memphis
Not
would
even
even want that.
Giannis. Giannis doesn't exist.
Giannis, it's not that he doesn't exist. Giannis is a proven star and all that. How old is Giannis? It depends on his age. If he's past 30, then no. If he's like around 28, then I would say yeah, I would.
No, he's like late 20s.
You know what? Three players: John Morant, Giannis, and Luka Doncic are the only three players I would trade RJ Barrett for. Why? Yes, Donovan Mitchell is better than RJ Barrett, but RJ Barrett has a lot more upside, right? We still have all these unlocked potentials we can potentially see. This is only his fourth season, okay? Donovan Mitchell, we already know what we're getting. We've had it before. No thanks. The Knicks need to build from the ground up. So when I said that Colin Sexton and a bunch of nobodies, yeah, Lauri Markkanen's great. He's great. But is he a star player? Is he going to take your team anywhere? No, he's just a good player to have on a good team. That's it. So that's what I meant. Because what would you rather have? A bunch of young guys, including RJ Barrett or Lauri Markkanen? Yeah, okay, he's doing well, but they're going to trade him anyway. They're going to trade him anyway because he's winning too many games for them and they need to tank.
I think RJ Barrett is having the worst start to the season uh throughout since he entered the NBA. He was like what 0 and 19 from 3.
For the past few games, yeah.
He's having a terrible shooting percentage. I don't know why he's playing like crap. Like Darius Garland has a
And
breakout season. Tons of players are
what
having
year is
breakout
he
seasons.
in, Darius Garland? He was drafted after.
He's drafted after or before, I think. I'm not sure. I think after.
I'm not ready to give up on RJ Barrett yet. Yeah, he sucks right now. I get it, but
And he's still getting the most minutes.
but I'm still willing to give him two more seasons before I could say I give up on him and he's a bust. I'm giving him two more seasons to prove himself. All right. If he's gonna at least play this season the way he played last season, I'll be cool with that. But again, I'm glad that they didn't trade for Donovan Mitchell. I want to build from the ground up. That's the problem. You see, people don't understand Knicks fans. Okay, the problem with the like, if we were any other organization, maybe, but we've made the same mistake over and over and over, trading all our assets for somebody who's mediocre. Okay, and I'm sorry to say, Donovan Mitchell's mediocre. Yes, he's playing fantastic. Okay, he's gonna take the Cavs to the playoffs, second round, maybe even the third round, but he's not gonna win them a championship. He's not.
I want to actually shout out somebody who followed us and wrote an interesting comment. 1 second.
Yeah, I remember. It's something about us being miserable Knicks fans or whatever.
Yeah, and I actually laughed at that because I was thinking that right before I read that, and it's been so long. But and then he said something else, which I would agree with maybe last year or a couple years before that, but now I don't agree with that. And what he said, and what a lot of people say, is that the Knicks don't want to really win; they just want to sell tickets. And normally I would agree, but I think them not making that trade for Donovan Mitchell, it proves that they do want to actually win and build something. And I think we have a great set of young talent on the team. Like like Tibbs finally benched Fournier. He never switches up his lineups ever. He finally benched Fournier. Hopefully they're gonna trade him soon, and he'll be great on a contending team, but not for the Knicks. And I love how Cam Reddish is playing better than he did earlier in the season.
So I want to say about I think that guy was right that the Knicks were the team to sell tickets and not give a damn about winning. And but I think that changed. And it's hard because with Patrick Ewing, I believe they genuinely were truly trying to win. All right. After that, the Stephon Marbury era, the Carmelo Anthony era, yes, I could potentially agree with that. However, now I think Dolan is under so much pressure because the fans were going to protest before they hired Phil Jackson. Ironically, Phil Jackson was a disaster for the organization. But I think at that point, though, James Dolan turned it around and he was trying to win, not because he had an epiphany, but because he just doesn't want the heat on his back. Okay. So, him getting Phil Jackson, why would Phil Jackson care if he sells tickets or not? He gave Phil Jackson the keys to the car, and Phil Jackson's a winner. And I'm sure that Phil Jackson truly wanted to win. He just because he's a great coach doesn't mean he's a great president. Moving forward, I think that what's his name, Leon Rose. I think Leon Rose wants to win, and like you said, that by not getting Donovan Mitchell, by staying put, I think they are serious about holding onto their assets
Yeah.
properly and not just making sloppy moves.
And there was a personal vendetta against the Knicks with the whole Donovan Mitchell thing because eh, the Knicks offered so much more, like you said, and
Careful, because you're gonna get called out. Like I got called out. What do you mean the Cavs package was better?
well, everyone thinks the Knicks. I think people are biased against the Knicks. They all think the Knicks suck, but they have really solid talent, and I think that Leon Rose actually put together a good team to build the youth but still compete like last year, and then he traded some of the guys that just kind of didn't do well, and now he's probably going to trade Fournier. Maybe he's going to end up trading Randall even though he is playing well, but we just need that. It's either like, I think the Knicks, first of all, the record isn't that bad, so I don't think anyone's expecting them to win all the games, so I think they're actually playing to expectations. But what's concerning is that RJ Barrett is playing like crap. And I think the Knicks need that consistent scorer to bring them over the top. And I don't know, do you think that RJ Barrett just has pressure on him? It's not like the same pressure like Ben Simmons has.
It's interesting because when you said Tyrese Halliburton is a star, he was a hidden gem, and Sacramento made the wrong thing. And then me and you discussed
And he even
how
he didn't play even nearly as well in Sacramento like that. So I think it's because he doesn't have
or maybe he just blossomed
he
finally.
just blossomed, or maybe because
It could be
or because what's his name, Fox was kind of like in his way.
it could have been Darian Fox is in his way. It could have been the coach. It could have been the organization. It could have been because it was in his time to blossom yet. It could have been a million different things. But him going to Indiana, that's just the right situation for him. If he came to the Knicks, right? Like we spoke about this the other day outside of this podcast, that if he got drafted by the Knicks or if he got traded to the Knicks, either way, maybe he wouldn't be this good. Maybe this system is not good for him. Maybe he couldn't handle the pressure in New York City. I don't know. And I think maybe, we don't know, maybe that's the problem RJ Barrett's having. Maybe if RJ goes to another city, a small town city, maybe he'll play a lot better. Who knows? I don't think RJ's phased by the pressure, though. I mean, maybe he just has a great poker face, but he doesn't seem. Look, like I said, I'm not giving up on him yet. It is concerning, however, that he sucks. But look, I will say this.
Imagine him listening to this.
Yeah, right now he sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
But there's the silver lining is, you see, us Nick fans, we were waiting for the Nick Messiah, right? And we had some fake ones. We had Stefan. What was that?
I don't know.
Uh, we had.
How's this?
Yeah. Leave that alone. We had Stephon Marbury, fake. Carmelo Anthony, well, Amari and then Carmelo, fake. All right, now we're waiting for RJ Barrett. But you know what? Maybe we should just let go of that Messiah stuff for the NBA and for the Knicks, I'm saying, and just let it be, because we have some good pieces right now. I like what I see in Jalen Brunson.
He's a solid player.
Yeah, I like what I see in, what's it called? Hartenstein. He's a solid player. I love what I see in Sims.
Oh, Sims is.
To me, he should replace Mitchell Robinson
Yeah.
completely.
I think they should trade Mitch or have him come off the bench.
And I loved what I saw in Quentin Grimes in the summer league. All right. So once you get that injury out of the way, I'm sure he'll be a stud. All right. RJ Barrett, we'll see. But the reason why they might trade Julius Randle is because they're going to need as much cap room as possible. Okay. They gave so many big contracts, and I don't think they have enough to sign, certain players again, and they need it. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, it is surprising to see certain teams. I mean, the Nets, I don't think we're going to be that bad as they are now. They're a terrible team. And then Kevin Durant the other day said, and it was very disrespectful. I don't even think vintage Durant would say this. All right. But he said something along the lines of, what do you expect? And he names the whole starting lineup, including
What do you mean
himself.
vintage Durant? He was always like that. That's why he
No, but in the
jetted on
Thunder,
the
I don't think that
Thunder.
the Thunder Durant would even say anything like this.
That was actually a good team.
I'm just trying to say, like, I feel like his attitude changed. I think he used to be such a nice guy.
He's salty. He's very
Yeah,
salty.
he's just such a Grinch. And he named the whole starting lineup, including himself, minus Kyrie, because Kyrie wasn't there. And he says, "What do you expect from this squad? No disrespect." That's like, you know what I mean? That's still disrespectful just because you don't say,
I know,
you
right?
know.
It's like, oh,
It's like
that's
if I
good.
was Royce O'Neal, I'd be offended. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, yeah, it's true. I'm not a star like you, but still, you know? And that's not how a leader talks. All right. Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, why didn't he call out Ben Simmons?
I don't know. Ben Simmons, you know what? It's safe to say that Ben Simmons is a bust. He's a bust, not because he doesn't have the talent, it's because mentally he's just not there. Okay, because when he came into Philly, he was playing pretty well at first. But after all that pressure and this and that, of all places, New York, Brooklyn was not the right place for him.
I was just gonna say
He
that.
should go to like OKC or
I
something.
was just gonna say he should go to the Thunder, but no one wants him because he's a diva and he's got an inflated contract.
Yeah, that's it. He's not tradable at this point. And then Kyrie Irving's another thing. And I'm going to just, honestly, I don't even want to talk politics, but I'm going to just say this. Kyrie got suspended.
It's not even politics.
Exactly, it's not. Kyrie got suspended because he shared a link to a documentary. All right. Now the context of that documentary, because he watched it, right? The context of the documentary basically says that white people that are Jewish are the devil, and it denies the Holocaust, right? And then he says,
Among other bad things.
among other things, right? So he says that, and instead of like having a good conversation about it and saying, oh, like if he was genuine and somebody called him out in the reports, he would have been like, oh, well, maybe I didn't think of it like that. I got to rewatch it or something. He's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not promoting it. I mean, what is it called when you share it on your platform with millions of people seeing it? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's called promoting it. Fine. You're not promoting it. But then he's saying, like, oh, how can I be anti Semitic? I know where I come from. And that's the thing. When a lot of people that hate on Jews, whether it's fake Jews or not, they're saying, like, oh, I'm not anti Semitic because Semitic people are this and this and this and that. All right, cut the BS out. You're a Jew hater, whether it's white Jews, whatever you want to call it. You're a Jew hater, right? So, that's that. Now, Kyrie Irving, when I'm reading the comments of, let's say, all the people that are commenting, they're like, but he didn't say anything. All right, well, let me ask you this. If Adam Silver, a white Jew, right, the fake Jews, if you will, if he shared a link about the KKK, glorifying it, and then he says, but I didn't promote anything, and I didn't say anything, how would those same people that are saying that about Kyrie feel in that situation? That's what I want to know, right? And Kyrie, to his credit, he apologized. He got it. I mean, the owner of the Nets is like, oh, but he only apologized because, he got suspended, right? But look, I'm not for cancel culture. I never was. And I don't want to cancel him. And, I think something went down. So, it was spoken about. Um, And that's it. You're not going to change people's minds. If that's how he feels, that's how he feels. The only thing I would want Kyrie to be open to is having a conversation and let his ideology be countered, and give him the opportunity to counter back, and that's it. If we could have that, I'm good. But I want to see him return to the Nets, and I want to see him play because I don't think that's the answer, and that's it. That's it. I think I said more than I should have, but what do you think about it?
Yeah, I I agree with everything you said. Um it's unfortunate, but he definitely had a lot of chances to clearly say, "I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't not like Jews," and he didn't say that multiple times, and they gave him opportunity. And same that Adam Silver example is great. So and you're right. I also don't think he should be canceled. And all those lists of things they wanted him to do to come back, I think, was a little bit too much. But yeah, I think just having a conversation with some community leaders and some like rabbis, if you will, to actually learn about the history of of Jewish history and not what some racist movie has to say. And a lot of people are right. They're saying, "Well, why does Amazon have it on?" That's true.
Oh
Why?
yeah,
Why is that the case? Amazon should take that down.
yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. I agree. 100% I agree. I forget his name on ESPN. Oh man, that's that bald guy who's talking to Stephen A. Smith,
Shannon Brown.
not Shannon Brown. He basically said, I forget his name. Damn. But he said, why isn't Jeff Bezos or Amazon accountable? And they should be. They should be. That's it.
But I do want to see him get traded to the Lakers.
The Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's another thing I want to talk about. So I was surprised that the
And
Nets suck. Go ahead.
and I'm gonna also say I want to see KD go back to the Warriors. My prediction, on top of the Heat being a bust this season, is that KD goes back to the Warriors. The Warriors get all those young guys, which is gonna be a steal for the Nets. Meaning Wiseman, Moses Moody, maybe Jordan Poole, and maybe Kaminga or one or the other. Draymond Green goes to the Lakers.
So this is a three-team
Westbrook,
trade.
yeah, Westbrook goes to the Nets, right? Kyrie Irving goes to the Lakers, and then they throw in Seth Curry to the Warriors also to make the contracts work.
So what I wanted to say was I am surprised that the Nets suck because even forget about Ben Simmons, Kyrie and KD alone, and this is before Kyrie got suspended, right? KD and Kyrie alone should be doing a lot better than they're doing. Um, they got rid of Steve Nash. Real quick, not to jump around, but I forgot to say this. I'm giving Tom Thibodeau till February. If he can't get his act together by February, I want to see him gone.
Well, that's the thing I wanted to mention. I forgot to say is that it feels like it feels like the offense is kind of dry. Like a lot of people say, like he doesn't have any kind of offensive, like anything in the playbook. So and if that is true, it sucks because there's all these young guys that I could actually score a lot, like quickly and maybe Toppin. But it seems like all these other young players are starting to blossom, and ours are just like
Yeah.
not
Well,
really doing much.
well, I want to quickly say something about that. I used to be a huge advocate for old school coaches, right? But now I wouldn't even want Greg Popovich coaching the Knicks because Greg Popovich is very old, right? No disrespect to him. And I really mean no disrespect to him, but how many years does he have left coaching? You know? But age aside, I think we got to get, honestly, I think the Knicks got to step away from the old school coaches. Because look at Boston, right? Twice they hired a young coach with not as much NBA experience, and they're doing fine. They're doing very well. Thibodeau is an old school coach, and I think the players just don't respond well. Like, like maybe even Phil Jackson today, would not work in today's NBA. So if Thibodeau gets fired, I want to be very careful, and I want to potentially get a younger, newer coach Try something different.
I think well, funny enough, I think his assistant coaches are very young.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, they have I think Johnny Bryant.
All right,
They have I don't
let's
know. It
give it
seems like
let's give the job to Johnny Bryant.
I don't know if that's his name, but I feel like everyone on that bench just looks very young.
Um, so real quick, not to jump around a lot, but with the Nets, because I mentioned Kyrie and Katie couldn't get their act together. I'm surprised that they suck this season actually. But one thing I am not surprised about is the Lakers sucking because big deal. What did they get? They got Dennis Schroeder. He's not even
Hasn't even
playing.
played.
Pat Beverly, great piece, but not enough to really make a change. Um, Russell Westbrook has been the scapegoat on that team. I don't think
He's been playing better off the
LeBron's
bench,
wrong, and I also don't think Russell Westbrook's wrong. I think they just don't work well together.
but their role players
They yeah, they
suck.
they just don't have a
They
solid
suck.
team. So it's going to be very interesting to see come trade deadline what the Lakers are going to do because they don't even have their pick this year, correct?
Nope.
It's such a shame they're tanking without wanting
The
to tank
Hornets have their
with star
the
players.
Pelicans have their pick.
The Pelicans are probably so happy and they hope that this continues, but the Lakers need to make a change. They have to do something. And it's going to be very interesting to see if they're going to actually blow up the team and trade AD, offer LeBron a trade, whatever. Because Westbrook's not tradable at this point.
And, and my and my thing first for them trading the Durant and Kyrie is because one, they get rid of all that drama, and if the Warriors are down to swap to get KD for some of their young players, it's like, why not? Yeah, you don't have a pick and you're probably not going to win many games, but you're going to have Wiseman. You could potentially get Poole if they could trade him. You could get, I think, Kuminga and Moses Moody. These are solid guys, and I think they're at least one or two of them could become stars. So it's like, why not? And then if you get Westbrook, he's still gonna, I think, keep you afloat in the East.
So, yeah, I think that you're on something. I think that you're
Onto something.
onto something on something that sounds wrong. I believe you are onto something. I do believe that yes. I think the Nets, the Lakers, and the Warriors all need each other because you said Chris Mullin, right? Didn't you say Chris Mullin
Yeah.
before the podcast? You told me he was telling KD that the doors are always welcome and open, whatever.
Well, he was saying it out loud, so
I think the Warriors are not happy with Draymond Green. So I
and
think
their chemistry seems a little off.
and they've also been struggling, the Warriors. So I
Yeah.
think they're gonna want Durant back. They're gonna pull off a 3-team trade somehow, where all these guys get moved around. Irving's gonna go to the Lakers. Durant's gonna go to the Warriors. Draymond Green's gonna have to compensate heavily to push, to dump Draymond Green's contract on the Nets. Something's gonna happen. They're gonna, somebody's gonna get Westbrook. I don't know how it's all gonna go down, but it's gonna go down. And uh, what I want to say though about Kevin Durant, it doesn't look good for his legacy because this dude, a fantastic player, man, fantastic player. All right, I think at one point he could have been the best player in the NBA because LeBron was already on the decline. Fine, I'm not gonna say the best, but definitely second best. Now I can't
Whoa,
say
whoa,
second
whoa,
best.
whoa, whoa,
At
whoa.
one point, not now,
No,
not this
no, no, not
season.
about that. Not about. You're gonna get a lot of shit for saying LeBron on the decline because you could only argue.
He is. I mean, it's not noticeable.
Dude, you could say now LeBron's on the decline, but when
All
a
right,
few years
I'm
ago,
rolling back in the comments, okay? A few years ago, I would say that Durant's the second best player. Now, not even. Now, I would say maybe the fourth best player on the league. Okay, I would say that. You know what? I don't even know because let's look at the best players in the league right now.
wait, but you're not saying you're saying Katie's the best right now,
No, 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 no.
or what?
All right. I'm gonna talk about who the best players are, but first I want to finish this thought. This does not look good for Katie's legacy. Why? Because in the Thunder, you could arguably say he was the second best player in the league. Okay. When he was on the Thunder,
Second?
I mean, you have LeBron. Who else did you have?
Oh, in the league. I thought. Okay, yeah, I thought you
Right.
meant like the
And
team.
no, in the league. So he was arguably the second best player in the league. They go to to the final to the semifinals, the third round in the Western Conference Finals. They were up 3-1 versus the Warriors, and then they lost. And then a year later, Kevin Durant departs for Golden State. Fine. He joined a very good team that 2 years before won without him. And then the year after that, they almost won. They had a 72 game winning season. They lost to the Cavs in 7 games, right? So he joins.
They also lost to the Raptors.
No, but that was, dude, stop interrupting because that was later.
Mm.
That was later. No, 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 no. So, so the Warriors won. They lost in 7 games in the finals to a very successful season, and then Kevin Durant joins that squad. So you're joining a winning team that beat you. That's who you join. Okay, you won 2 chips. Then then the third time I think is when he got injured. Everybody got injured, and the Raptors came and beat them. And then he goes to Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, he could not get his act together. It just, it just isn't working. And it's not just working, but he gets swept with Kyrie by Boston in the first round, swept. And you had James Harden at one point that year. At one point. Okay, fine. Now you're going to go back to the Warriors and win? It's like, so what does that say about your legacy? That you can't win unless you're on a super team? So, doesn't look good.
True, but when it's all said and done, he's still gonna be in the Hall of Fame and win
Yeah. Oh,
championships.
no, 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 definitely. But you can't put him in the conversation of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
Well, you
You
know
can't
what?
put him in those
I want to see
conversations.
how the Nets play when Kyrie Irving comes back because like a few days before, KD was saying that you know the team didn't buy into Steve Nash's play calling and all that kind of stuff, right? That's why he requested for a trade. So now that Steve Nash is gone, I think they won maybe like a couple games, barely. Fine, you could say Kyrie Irving is not playing, so that's why. Fine, but now let's see. They have until when's the trade deadline? February.
I think it's in February.
So there's a few months, and let's see if they could actually turn it around. But honestly, I doubt it because I think there's so much like chemistry issues with Ben Simmons not playing. Now the role players don't like KD. It's kind of like when LeBron James was playing with like Lonzo Ball and Kyle Kuzma, and he was being all like, he clearly wanted to trade them for Anthony Davis and then get Westbrook also, and he was being all fake nice to them, and everyone knew it. I remember even seeing like how he was sitting on one side of the bench and he was like sitting by himself, and then like they were all like sitting together on the other, and there was like one or two seats in between them. So it was like, yeah, come on, you can't say that kind of stuff.
But who do you think's the best player, the top 5 best players in the league right now? I'm going to say right now, it's hard to say, but I'm going to give the number 1 spot to Giannis. Then I'm going to go to Luka Doncic, Ja Morant. Oh, then you have Jokic. I don't need. You see, never mind. I'm not gonna go number one, two, three because I don't know who's gonna be ranked, but I'm gonna say that Giannis, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant, Jokic, and I don't know who's the fifth best player.
You're forgetting somebody.
Steph
Wow.
Curry.
This is probably one of the hardest debates ever. Um, I think Giannis. I don't know if I would say he's top three.
Okay.
Like, so being the best, you have to be good at both ends of the floor, right? Steph Curry is not a great defender, but he's such an incredible shooter, and he's such a great point guard that you could overlook his defense, and his defense isn't that
Yeah, but you
terrible.
know what? When I'm talking about who's the best this season, I'm talking about, or in the league now, I'm talking about MVP caliber player. So who do you think would be eligible for MVP? I think Steph Curry would be eligible. He's
Steph,
carrying that team, even though they're
Steph,
not
but
doing as well.
Jason Tatum's playing really great. Jason Tatum's playing MVP caliber basketball.
Okay.
Uh, the Joker, I don't know. It's too soon for that. I
Dude,
think
he's a two-time MVP champ. Two-time.
Embiid also. Embiid is playing.
Right, Embiid. It's hard.
Who's two-time MVP? Oh, Joker.
Yeah. 2 years in a row.
He's
His numbers are insane.
isn't Giannis also two-time?
I don't know. But Giannis is a champ. He won a
You
championship.
know what, I take it back. He is great because I remember like he's not a great 3-point shooter, obviously, but he could hit a three when during clutch
Giannis?
time. Yeah. So you see, it's weird also with Donich or Doncic,
Luca. I get it. Go ahead.
Luca. I feel like they're doing well, but they're kind of struggling to actually like really win games. And Luca is really dropping big numbers for them to do that. So either he can't play, either Jason Kidd's not a great coach, or he just can't play with a lot of certain type of players.
Yeah.
He
I,
just needs a lot of good shooters around him. That's it. Like,
I didn't say he's the best, but I'm saying who are the top five best players in the league right now?
okay, so you're right. I don't even answer that question. So all right, top five best, and not in any order.
Not in any order.
Giannis, Luca, Steph Curry, Joker, and damn, this is a tough one. I won't say John Moran yet. I think it's too soon. Who's yours?
Mine, I think I said it. Giannis, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, uh, Ja Morant, and Jokic,
So John Moran.
the Joker. Yeah, and then Ja Morant.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna say Tatum over John Moran.
Okay, well, that's the only difference. What do you guys think? But I
Le-
disagree. But I disagree with you. But we'll see what they say in
LeBron's
the
number
comments.
six because of his.
Look, LeBron in his prime is better than all five of those guys. But LeBron's not in his prime right now. Okay.
Yeah, but he's still does he deserves to still be top five?
Not if he's declining or if he's playing. All right.
He's not really declining. That's the crazy thing.
All right.
Like maybe he's a
He
little
should
step
still be
slower.
doing better than they're doing. Than the Lakers. They should be doing better than they're doing.
All right, can you compare this Laker team to one of his Cavs teams that he had where they didn't do well?
I don't think he's ever been this bad. I think the only time he did this poorly
His rookie year, right?
is rookie year.
But even with his like Cavs teams, he had better players.
Yeah. I mean,
This is like the worst team he probably ever had.
yeah, you have a washed up AD who's always getting injured. He has flashes of greatness, but he's always getting injured. He can't play with Russell Westbrook. Russell's coming off the bench, and that's it. There's nobody else on that team.
They don't even have like a solid 3-point shooter. Like you could say, yeah, this is the guy who'll hit a three. Like how they had Kyle Korver, or like just any guy who's just he could suck in everything else, but he's a great 3-point shooter. I came in and they don't even have anyone like that.
Yeah, the biggest mystery of all of this is Carmelo Anthony, because you would think the Lakers can use his services. They need another name. Patrick Beverly was a great pickup, but you need Carmelo Anthony. And then Dwight Howard, I don't know why he ran off to Taiwan. I don't know why they didn't re-sign him.
Oh, he just by speaking of Dwight Howard, he just had 35 points in his first
Yeah,
game.
I heard he put up monster numbers. Good for him. But why what's Carmelo Anthony doing? He's not on any team. The Lakers need somebody. Why not go to the Lakers?
Yeah, but come on, bro. He's not that consistent shooter he's been. And he probably doesn't want to be there because they suck.
All right, so what's going to happen with Carmelo Anthony?
He's probably gonna join like a championship caliber team after the trade deadline or by All-Star game, and that's it. Probably call it a career after that.
I don't think this is his last year though. I think next year will be his last year.
He's probably also looking for a team that where he can actually play. If obviously come off the bench, but like get like significant, like maybe 15 minutes a game or something. Like
All I,
not just sit on the bench.
all I got to tell you about Carmelo is good thing he won that NCAA championship, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he is a 10-time All-Star. He was a scoring champion. He, but at least he has that. He's a 3-time Olympic gold medal winner.
Yeah, but look at Chris Paul. He also didn't win anything.
Yeah.
He's just cursed
No, he's not cursed, man. Why did they lose again with Phoenix?
because they suck.
Remind
No,
me.
he got I think the last two games he got injured and then like he just didn't play well. He only had like one of the games he had like a really great game. And then he was injured and then he just didn't play well the last two games.
The one time I think Chris Paul was this close was when he was on the Rockets with James Harden. They were doing so well. I think they were up 3-1 versus the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. And then he got injured, and then the Warriors just beat them.
You know what? If Chris Paul would come off the bench, that team, like, and if it's a contender, that team would probably win a championship. The reason why he can't is because his contract is so crazy that you probably don't even have enough cap space to have a good point guard and then him come off the bench.
Speaking of, and we discussed this before, but Phoenix should potentially look to trade DeAndre Ayton, because I don't think they like each other. Ayton doesn't like Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't like him. And they kept him because they knew that they need to hold on to him for assets, right? I think they should trade him to Atlanta in return for Collins and Capella, because Atlanta also wants to trade Collins. And, maybe Aiden's better, but maybe Collins will play better in Phoenix, What do you think of that?
Yeah, I don't think Aiden is like a Joel Embiid the way he plays, but I think that's a great third option to have on your team if you're Atlanta because you have two dynamic shooting guards like in Trey Young and Dejounte Murray.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray was an excellent pickup. Excellent pickup.
Shy SGA, dude, he's balling out. He is crazy right now.
You know what? SGA better than Donovan Mitchell. I am willing to get ripped off for SGA.
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Yes. You know why? Because he's a big guard. He's like 6'6" or
And he's
something
very
like that.
young.
He's still very young, yeah.
So the thing is, though, the Knicks are so bad at drafting. We could have had him instead of Kevin Knox, which was a bust. Although Kevin Knox got picked number 9, there was a lot of hype. Stephen A. Smith praised the Knicks. He says that was a great pick. I hate to say it because he looks like such a great guy, such a nice guy, but he's just not that good.
Looks like a nice guy, right?
Very nice guy. And you know what else I like about him? When they asked him in Detroit, because he's on Detroit now, and they asked him about his, with the Knicks, most players would bash the former team and talk all this smack. He actually took responsibility and said, no, I could have played better.
I feel the same way about Frank Ntilikina. I feel like he still has like talent where he could still be a solid role player. And like you wanna I don't know what it is, but like you want them to do well.
By the way, instead of Frank Ntilikina, we could have had Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, and then wait, didn't we draft the Obi Toppin over Halliburton?
That's different, though. Yes, we should have gone Halliburton, but who's to say A, he'd play well on the Knicks, and B, Obi Toppin was our guy. They wanted to trade for number 4 just to
That's
draft him,
true.
and he fell to number 8. It's like a miracle. So, of course, they're going to go for him. It would be crazy not to.
No, man. And yeah, last thing, or I don't know the last thing, but you're right. First of all, Halliburton was on the Knicks wish list, and if we would have got him if Obi Toppin was should have been drafted at number 4. But you know what? Everyone's saying, "Oh, we have to let Toppin start." I think that he's getting enough minutes, or he could get more minutes, but I think that he's not ready to like be like that man with the like the second option on the team. So I think his development's actually not bad, based on what he gets, but we'll see. I hope he'll be like that star that everyone's expecting.
Yeah, but SGA, I would totally get him, and I don't care that we have Brunson. He could play at shooting guard,
Oh
and
yeah.
that'll work out great.
Well, who would you trade for him though? Thunder is gonna
So the thing with the Thunder
fix.
is, I highly doubt they'd want RJ Barrett because of that big contract. Why would they?
Yeah.
So I don't think RJ Barrett is something they'd want. They're gonna probably want Quentin Grimes. That's the
Yeah.
problem. And picks. I'm willing to part way with the picks. I
Grimes
don't know if I could
picks.
get rid of Quentin Grimes though. He played so well.
Yeah, but dude, it's
And
some
and
of
I
the
want and I love homegrown talent. That's what I'm a huge fan of.
Quentin Grimes. They're probably not gonna want Cam Reddish because he's a restricted free agent, right?
Yeah.
Um, Quentin Grimes and like 4 picks.
I would be like, yo, Thunder, why do you want Quentin Grimes for? Don't you want to lose? He's gonna win games for you. Don't you want to lose? Don't you want to
Oh,
tank?
bro, he hasn't even played a game yet in the regular season.
Listen, there's
They're probably gonna want Sims actually.
oh no, no, not Sims. You see, it's all Mitchell Robinson's fault. If he didn't get injured, nobody would even know about Sims. Damn. They're gonna want Sims. I
The
know it.
probability of him getting injured was very high. Like you could have bet on it.
Who? Quentin Grimes?
No, Mitchell Robinson.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think they knew that, and that's why I think they gave him that contract honestly just for assets.
Yeah.
And we still could offer the Thunder the most picks, right?
Yeah, the Thunder should just take the picks and call it a day because I heard that this draft class is deep.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. And everybody wants to tank for this one guy. I forget his name. But I heard the top 5 guys are good.
Daya or
I don't
something.
know. I don't know.
He's like 7'4", but he plays like a guard.
So, yeah.
There's so much hype about him, but it's like, damn, let the kid play first.
Well, just like RJ Barrett, right? I remember you said, oh, there's this guy. He's mad good. They're already looking at him at junior high
Yeah, but he
school.
didn't have this kind of hype, bro. He didn't have this kind of hype like this guy. The NBA is streaming every game he plays. That's how good he is.
So he's the next coming of LeBron James.
That's what they say, but he's so thin. I feel like, I hope this doesn't happen, but I feel like he's going to be injured the first 2 seasons of his career.
Look at Kevin Durant. He's fine. So he'll be fine.
I suppose.
Okay.